Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by obeying Him and doing exactly what He asked for. And to be content with whatever we have, and more importantly, to prepare oneself to leave this dunya, this world, to the next world. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of His mercy, although He have created us in a way that we can think on our own and we can find out what's good and what's bad for ourselves, but nevertheless, He have sent us prophets and messengers, and we as Muslims have got the last and the seal of all prophets and messengers, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us the best way for us to leave this dunya in the best of ways and to get to the Jannah in the best of ways is to follow the footsteps of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he told us, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ لِمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو اللَّهَ وَالْيَوْمَ الْآخِرِ وَذَكَرَ اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا. You have the best role model and the best example in Allah, in the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for those who really care and wants to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in good terms. And the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his life, thank God, has been documented. And many scholars have spent their lives documenting and authenticating his lives, his walk, the way he walks, the way he eats, the way he slept, and more importantly, the way he did the dawah. And as we are in the month of Ramadan, and this is the month of Quran, and although we are meeting some tough and rough circumstances, but you know, you may dislike something, it may turn to be the best for us. Yes, indeed, what is going on with the coronavirus have made us rethink our lives. Every day you hear about death and the collapse of the economy. And we're all gonna die. And we have to prepare for that day. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, if you really wanna live the best life and get into Jannah, then you have to follow the footsteps of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam was told in his lifetime, إِنَّكَ مَيِّتٌ وَإِنَّهُمْ مَيِّتُونَ, you're gonna die and they're all gonna die. And also he was told, يَا أَيُّهَا الرَّسُولُ بَلِّغْ مَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ رَبِّكَ. Go and tell people about everything that you have received from your Lord. فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلْ, and if you have not done, then you haven't done the job that you are supposed to do. And that's how the Sahaba al-Kiram understood when they entered Islam, that Islam is not only praying 5 times and saying Shahada and doing Salah and doing Siyam and doing Hajj, but those are the prerequisites and the requirements to do the work of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is to do the da'wah. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he defined the job of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, إِنَّا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ شَاهِدًا وَمُبَشِّرًا وَنَذِيرًا وَدَاعِيًا إِلَى اللَّهِ بِأَمْرِهِ وَسِرَاجًا مُنِيرًا. We have to do the best of our efforts, every and anywhere, to take this mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is Islam, and to join and share it with everybody around us. The Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, if one person will be guided by you, you would have gained a herd of red camels. And the red camel was supposed to be the most expensive camel at that time. And if we make a comparison of our day life, then the camel will be the car. And I just checked out that the most expensive car is the Bugatti, which is sold for $18.5 million. So this means if one person is guided by us, this will give us not only one car, but it's going to give us a garage full of Bugattis. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us وأنفقوا مما رزقناكم من قبل أن يأتي أحدكم الموت فيقول ربي لولا أخرتني إلى أجل قريب فأصدق وأكون من الصالحين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking us and telling us and directing us and advising us, spend from whatever I have provided for you before death come to you. And you know, when we die, the first thing, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, فَبَصَّرُكَ الْيَوْمَ حَدِيدٌ. Your eyesight will going to be so sharp that we can see far, far away. And we're going to see our place in Jannah, inshallah. But also we're going to see all the levels of Jannah. And that's why one will say, I wish I can go back so I can do more sadaqah, more charities, so I can alleviate my position in Jannah. It has been narrated that the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was so generous during the month of Ramadan, even they compare him with the flowing wind, because you know, the wind doesn't have a pocket, and if anything in the wind, it will fall down on the earth. And that's why I'm here, brothers and sisters, to advise you as well as to advise myself. As we see death around us and we hear about death around us, then we have to prepare for that day. And the best preparation is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala advises us for. Many people are out of work today, and they are thinking about what happens to our retirement plan, the 401k. Am I going to be invested in it, or I'm going to stop it, or what I'm going to have when I retire? Then I advise you, brothers and sisters, to participate and invest in a new retirement plan, which is called 401j, and the J stands for Jannah. And in this plan, you don't have to put anything from your pocket. Everything is given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you don't have to really worry about the market and the stock market going up and down and what's going to happen to your stocks. No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take care of it. And it's going to be 10 or 15% adjustment or 5% or whatever profit. No, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the least is going to be 700 times and more. And the more is 1400 as well as 2800 and so forth. You know, it reminds me, one of my friend's sons, when he finished college, he worked for the Chicago Mercantile. And he called me, he said, Ammu Faisal, I have a good stock for you. I said, how much it gives? That was like 20 years ago. He said, it gives you at least 11%. I said, 11%, I have a better stock. He said, give you more than 11? I said, yeah. He said, how? 15? I said, no, more, 15, 20. We kept going up and up till I reached 30%, and I said, no more. Then he said, Ammu Faisal, are you talking religious now? This means we don't really believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us more and more if we ask for. And today, I want to share with you a project that inshallah, not only will give you 700 times, but it will give you more. And this is the project, the Quran project. The Quran project is distributing a copy of the Holy Quran everywhere around the world. And as I said before, Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, if one person is guided by you to Islam, as if you have a whole herd of red camels. One will say, well, I don't know what happened when we give a Quran to somebody, is going to be guided or not. We have an example here in the Naperville area. Brother Tyron. Brother Tyron played football for the University of Illinois in Champaign. And he roommated with the quarterback. And the quarterback was giving a copy of the Quran in English. So he took it and put it in a shelf in the room and never looked at it. But Tyron, Khalil, he picked up the Quran and started reading it. And before he knew it, he became a Muslim. And you can see him in Fajr prayer and Isha prayer at the Islamic Center of Naperville. So you never know who is going to pick up the Quran. And you never know who's going to be guided by the Quran. But for sure, we would have done our commitment, which is the first commitment And the first duty, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the Rasul sallallahu balligh, we have to deliver this message. If people will accept it or not, this is up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we have to do the job. And the job is really and truly is paying back. You can see around the world today, people who have got copies of the Quran. Either they or members of their family would have accepted Islam. And as we see today, and in the last few months, with this Corona issue, that people are talking about Islam. The adhan is being given in loudspeakers. Leaders of the world are talking about Islam and the hygienics of Islam. And our duty is to follow the footsteps of our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that's why I'm telling every one of us, we are the messengers of the messenger. Because by default, when we say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, we have accepted the mission of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we have to follow his footsteps. And this is how the Sahaba al-Kiram acted upon their Islam and embracing of Islam. When we look at the 10 Sahabis that they have been giving the good news about being in Jannah, al-Mubashirin bil Jannah, guess what? 6 of them entered into Islam through Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, not through Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because they know what it has to be done. They have to go out and deliver the message. And alhamdulillah, 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 Al-Furqaan Foundation has been doing this on our behalf for the last many years, and millions of copies of the Quran has been distributed. And you know, it is not much to spend. It's only $104 for a box of 52 copies. Can you imagine 52 copies? What is the percentage? Maybe 1% of the people who will receive a copy of the Islam, a copy of the Quran, will read it and act upon it, even if it's 0.5%, even if it's 0.001%, still we are doing our job. And those people who are gonna accept Islam, they also gonna be doing the same job. And let me give it to you in a mathematical way. Everyone who read the Quran that we have distributed through Al-Furqaan Foundation, Furqaan project, we will getting the reward for it. So you can imagine how many people will be reading the Qurans and how many Qurans we will be distributed. So all we have to do is get on it and make the donation of $104 for 1 box or more boxes. You can do it for yourself. You can do it for your parents if they are alive, or if they have passed away. You can do it for your kids. And the sadaqat is the best protection for ourselves. Al-Rasul said, Dawu mardakum bis sadaqat. Cure your sick people by doing charities. And this is the best charity one can do. This is the best charity one can do, is to do da'wah, to introduce Islam and Allah and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to mankind. So get on the web for alfurqaanproject.org and make your donation. It's only $104 for 52 copies of the Quran. You can make one box, 2 boxes, 3 boxes, but don't deprive yourself from doing something for da'wah. Al-Furqaan Foundation are doing a great job distributing Qur'ans as well as other Islamic materials and da'wah materials. And they are looking to have a center where people can come and read and enjoy the literature of Islam and the recitation of Quran. And we have to really support them. And by supporting them, we are supporting ourselves. And once again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, spend from whatever I provided for you before death comes to one. And that one will say, oh God, would you delay my death for a few seconds so I can do more charity and be more righteous person. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have blessed us with the month of Ramadan to rejuvenate our life, rejuvenate our spirit, to recharge our heart, and also He will reward us tremendously for everything that we do during the month of Ramadan. So again, let's go back to the math. The $104 that we spend it in a regular month is going to be multiplied many times in the month of Ramadan. And the number of copies that we're going to distribute during the month of Ramadan is going to be more, inshallah, than it would be in the other days of the year. It's up to us. It's up to you and up to me to make sure that this message of Quran has been distributed and been spread to everyone. We are here in America as Muslims to be the messengers of the messengers, to show the people the right way of life, to show the people the road to Jannah. Because I'm afraid that on the day of judgment, our neighbors will come and say, God, no, we are not the one to be in Jahannam. It's Muhammad or Ali or Fatima or Aisha. Why? Because they know about Jannah and they didn't tell us about it. They know about you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the right way, and they didn't tell us about it. They know how to live their life properly and they didn't tell us about it. So here we are. Al-Furqaan project is providing for us this Jannah opportunity. So let's start our 401j investment retirement plan today and get your copy of the Quran and get a box or more to be distributed in your name, the name of your favorite ones, and inshallah will be your parents, so your parents will make dua for you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all and guide us all to the right path. And the right path is the path of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and there is no other choice but to follow his footsteps. And he said to us, بَلَّغُوا عَنِّي وَلَوْ آيَةً. Just go and tell people about me, even if it's one verse. And in the Quran, there is more than 6,000 verses. So you can imagine on the day of judgment, where everyone is going to be rushing to our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, asking him for shafa'ah, to put good words to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we're going to tell him, Ya Rasulullah, we have distributed the Quran, we have spread the word, we have told people about you, and we want you to put a good word for us with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have told us in the Quran that he and the angels offer prayers and blessings on the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he's asking us to do the same. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك اللهم لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا برحمتك شر ما قضيت فإنك سبحانك تقضي بالحق ولا يقضى عليك ولا يعز من عاديت ولا يذل من وليت. Just a footnote, this is a bayan, is like a khatira, and is not substitute for Salat al-Jum'ah or Salat al-Dhuhr. جزاكم الله خير وبارك الله فيكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.